I am not a financial advisor, and I never give financial advice on this channel. 100% of this content is for entertainment purposes only. Hello everybody, hope you're doing well. It's Lane here with MetaShackle. Today I'm going to be going over a couple charts. I'm going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance as well as the total crypto market cap and the Total3. This isn't going to be a long video. I just wanted to go over these charts real quick. So let's get into it. So taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance first, this chart looks very interesting. We have 2 points here and here to form this upper trend line. We have 2 points, one here and one here to form the bottom trend line. If you look at this chart outside of the equilibrium zone, we are now trading just right above equilibrium, which generally is indicative that we're going to make a move upwards away from the equilibrium zone right here in the center. Keep in mind, we are looking at the logarithmic chart here, so my fib levels will look slightly distorted on this chart compared to the regular. But as you can see, each time we have come up out of the equilibrium zone or through the equilibrium zone, we have gotten up to about the number 2 fib level. In the case here, we had a clear rejection in September of 2019, touching the bottom of this fair value gap. We also had a clear rejection right here in January 2021 at the very same point of that same fair value gap. Now this fair value gap right here is what is known as a SIBI. It's a sell-side imbalance, buy-side inefficiency. These are bearish fair value gaps, and they form when there's strong selling pressure, and it leaves a gap where the buyers are inefficient in participating. So essentially what this is a way of showing that at this particular point in time where this fair value gap formed right here, that the selling pressure absolutely dominated the buying pressure, leaving this inefficiency right here. As you can see, it is acting in a way which causes it to repel anything coming into it. So there's probably a pretty good chance, now that we are above the equilibrium zone, likely to make a move upwards, that we will either see a rejection here at this upper trend line, or we will break through this trend line, coming through this number 2 up to the bottom of this fair value gap yet again, which leaves a pretty good amount of space right here for it still to travel. We might very well be looking at the potential for Bitcoin to make another big move, which I've kind of thought was going to be the case, dragging the entire crypto market up with it. I know a lot of people in the market have been expecting alt season to start, and a lot of people are even claiming now that we're not going to see an alt season, and I don't think that's the case. But Bitcoin is not giving up at this point. We're absolutely going to see an alt season. We're just not to that point quite yet. It does look like there may be a case here where Bitcoin will pull up the entire crypto market with it once it tops out somewhere around the bottom of that fair value gap. Pulling back some point after that would likely be when we see the alt season begin. Keep in mind that we could also see this come up here, bouncing off of the fair value gap, actually retesting this upper trend line and making a move upwards, which in this case would be a form of a hybrid altcoin season where Bitcoin and the altcoins just go for this massive ride together. As I've said in past videos, I don't believe that the season we are currently seeing now is indicative of anything that we have seen in the past. I think we are forging a new path here, setting a new trend that's likely going to be different than anything we've seen in the past, and may even likely be setting a trend that we will see and continue to follow moving forward. So keep your eye on this, because this is going to be very interesting. Also pay attention to the fact that the Gaussian channel is red and has not even flipped over to green yet, and it's already breaking to the upside of the Gaussian channel. This could be another sign of strength. Now taking a look at the total crypto market cap chart, we can clearly see on this chart that we have an ascending wedge pattern that is forming. This is also on the logarithmic chart. We're forming a clear cup and handle pattern right here, of which we formed a handle breaking out of the rim line, and we are now coming back for a retest here, which has actually bounced off of this lower trend line before setting back and creating a weak doji. And you know that is something that I watch out for with my grafting equilibrium trading strategy. But we'll get into that down the road. We're trading above the Gaussian channel, which is a really good sign of strength. And I think that it is very likely what we are going to see is this chasing upwards, likely to touch this upper trend line at some point, yet again, for the third time. How much it could go up is anybody's guess. But I am, at the minimum, expecting that we are going to see the total crypto market cap at least double to around that $5 trillion mark. And something that you will also see on the next chart that I'm going to show you, the total 3, which is also forming a similar pattern, yet they are forming slightly different, is notice the first side of this cup right here, where this pattern started to form back in December of 2021, how it's level with the rim line, forming the handle here below that. So there are slight differences going into the total 3 chart, and really, as far as the total 3 chart is concerned, it's just a matter of interpretation. So this will be an interesting chart to continue to watch as the crypto market as a whole continues to grow and grow and grow. And as you know, people who once had no idea what crypto even meant, what it was, any of the names of any of the tokens or coins out there, suddenly know quite a bit about it. So it's getting to that point where it's getting into people's minds, people are thinking about it, and we are starting to move into the new digital financial system, and people are starting to see this coming. That's how early you are. Now moving on to the total 3. This chart is very similar to the last chart that we just looked at. It's trading in an ascending wedge pattern. You can see that it's forming a clear cup and handle right here. But unlike the other pattern, which was measured down to this point here, which would have been the handle here, this had an extended push up to this point. So it's actually falling behind the total crypto market cap chart in comparison. You very well could use this as a cup and handle, considering this the handle, this the breakout of the rim line coming back for the retest. But I'm choosing to look at it on this chart as a matter of interpretation, as this being the rim line, as generally it's been my experience that going from the higher point is generally the stronger position overall. So that's what I'm going to stick to on this chart until I have reason to think otherwise. So technically, from looking at this chart from my perspective, although following a similar pattern, we are still forming the handle in this general area. Keep in mind, the total crypto market cap as well as the total 3 are both on the monthly chart. So each one of these candles represents 1 month of price action, but they are very similar. And trading at a much lower market cap, down here at about 834 billion, there's a really good chance that we could see this break out of this, moving up and attempting to touch this upper trend line at some point, which could considerably raise the value of this market overall moving forward. Now, what time frame it's going to occur within, that's anybody's guess, but generally these cup and handle patterns are very strong. I believe it's somewhere in the realm of about 80 to 85% of the time these break out to the upside. That's still no guarantee that it's absolutely going to do that, but from the looks of this chart, it looks very, very possible, and I would definitely be keeping an eye on this. Although I think right now the most important chart of them all to watch is the Bitcoin dominance, especially if you are holding altcoins. So that's just something that I wanted to go over really quick. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that I will be leaving town. I will be traveling for the first 3 weeks of April. It may be a little shorter than that. I won't know until I get to about that second week, as I do have a couple herniated discs in my back right now, which is causing me a great deal of pain, and I'm not sure that I will be able to make it for the entire 3 weeks, although I'm going to give it my best, as I always try to do. And if you could do me a favor and hit the like button, I would really appreciate it. It doesn't cost you anything, and it really helps the channel. There's also a link below in the description if you'd like to donate to the channel or you feel inclined to do so, which certainly isn't required, as I give away all of my work for free, and I will never charge you a dime for anything that I put out, and there will never be a time where I hide my information behind a paywall. But thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great day.
They wanna take our freedoms, they wanna take our land.